She wakes up in a cold, sterile room. No windows, no warmth, no clue where she is. Across the glass, Marissa Wiegler watches. She's not just a CIA agent. She's the reason Hanna's life has been a secret.
Would you like to talk to me?
Inside the facility, they treat her like something in a cage. Psychologists, agents, whispers behind mirrored glass. They speak to her like she's unstable. But Hanna isn't confused. She's focused, and she asks for one person.
I want to speak to Marissa Wiegler.
Marissa Wiegler. She says she knows her, remembers her, so they send someone in. A woman in a sharp suit, calm voice, soft eyes. She says she's Marissa, but she's not. Just a stand-in with an earpiece. And Hanna knows it. She starts asking questions. Personal ones only the real Marissa would answer. The woman keeps up fed answers through her mic. Then suddenly, Hanna starts to cry. She stumbles forward, wraps her arms around the fake Marissa. The room relaxes. But one-man agent Lewis stays tense. Her crying doesn't feel right. And he's right. Because in the next second crack, Hanna snaps the woman's neck like she's flipping a switch. No hesitation, no remorse. Chaos erupts. Guards rush the room, but Hanna doesn't run. She turns the small room into a massacre. One soldier goes down with a pen jammed through his throat. Another is slammed into a wall so hard the concrete cracks. She moves, fast, brutal, surgical. She's being hunted. Floodlights blaze through the corridor, boots echo behind her, dozens of CIA troops on her trail. She slips through a steel door, into a lab. White walls, machines humming, screens filled with data about her, her DNA, abnormal sequences, enhanced traits. A scientist passes by. Too close. She grabs him, drops him, takes the card, and keeps moving. She reaches the exit gate. A guard appears, weapon raised, eyes locked. Hanna lifts her gun, her finger tightens on the trigger, but she doesn't shoot for a moment. She hesitates. Not out of fear, out of something deeper. This isn't who she wants to be. She lowers the gun, leaves the man alive, and runs up the ladder. Through the hatch, she bursts into daylight and freezes. It's not a city, not a forest, it's nothing. Just empty desert for miles. And in that moment, Hanna realizes she's escaped one cage into another one. As the heat of the desert wraps around her, Hanna remembers her father's voice. Quiet, steady, final. We'll meet at Wilhelm Grimm's house. Berlin. No map, no compass. Just a destination burned into her memory. And now she has to cross half the world to get there. Meanwhile, far away, Marissa Wiegler isn't watching from the sidelines anymore. She's not just another CIA agent now. She's in charge, and she's obsessed. Find her and find Eric. That's all she says, again and again. But Marissa's hunt didn't start today in the past. She worked alongside Eric, both CIA, both ghosts, but something changed. There was a mission, a betrayal on a lonely road years ago. Marissa stood in front of a car, gun in hand, eyes locked inside the car. Eric next to him, Johanna in the backseat, baby Hanna. Marissa opened fire bullets, tore through the windshield, glass, screams, blood. Johanna was hit. Eric barely escaped, vanishing into the forest with his daughter in his arms. From that moment forward, he stopped being an agent and started raising a ghost. Hanna wasn't born free, back in the present, alone, exhausted, and sunburned. Hanna walks through the desert, her steps heavy but determined. Then, in the distance, a van, a picnic blanket, a normal family on vacation. She watches from afar, a girl her age laughing with her brother. It's the first time Hanna sees something she's never had, a childhood, but she doesn't stop. She walks for hours, through sand and silence, until she reaches a small village tucked into the edge of nowhere, and for the first time in her life, she sees people, real people, laughing, working, living. Hanna wanders through narrow alleys and enters a humble house. An old man greets her, wary at first, then surprised when she speaks to him in fluent Arabic. He tells her where she is, Morocco. Hanna nods, her expression blank, but her mind racing. The man offers her a room for the night. She steps inside, and that's when the shock truly hits. A heater humming softly, a light bulb glowing overhead, a small TV flashing colors, and movement. Electricity, technology, comfort, all things she's never seen. Hanna stares like she's inside a spaceship. The panic sets in. She bolts from the room, while Hanna wrestled with the noise of a world she'd never seen. Her father, Eric, was crossing oceans literally. He swam through black waves, cutting through freezing waters, headed for Berlin, the meeting point, the plan. But he wasn't the only one on the move miles away. Marissa walked into a dingy bar. Red lights, cheap music, familiar faces. She found one of them, an old contact, cold eyes, killer for hire. She slid a thick envelope across the table. Find the girl. Izrinya, bring her to me.
She's in Morocco.
Morocco was now a hunting ground back with Hanna. Fate circled again. She met the same girl she saw in the desert. A warm smile, a casual hello, and soon, dinner with the family around the table. Laughter, stories, normal life. Hanna listened in silence, a ghost watching the living that night. While the family packed their things for the road, Hanna slipped into the back of their van, silent, hidden, and just like that, her journey to Berlin began, but death was right behind her. Marissa's team reached Morocco fast. They grabbed the kind old villager who had helped Hanna. No mercy, no patience. They beat him, tortured him. He told them everything, and when they had what they needed, they killed him. At a small campground under the stars, Hanna's past was closing in. One of Marissa's men, Sebastian, was already tracking her. She was just thirsty. She wandered to a nearby swimming pool, crouched to drink, and suddenly a splash behind her. Sophie, the same girl from the desert, surprised but not scared. Sophie guessed it immediately. Hanna was the one who damaged their van. Hanna lowered her eyes and apologized, but Sophie didn't get angry. Instead, she smiled. Help me talk to those cute boys, she said, and you can sleep in my tent just like that. Hanna was invited into a moment she'd never experienced for the first time in her life. She was just a teenager. Music played. They laughed, shared a motorcycle ride under the stars, a night of joy in a world Hanna had never touched before. Meanwhile, Sebastian reached the campsite. He found Sophie's tent, but only Miles was inside, the little brother clueless, safe for now. Back in the tent, Sophie asked Hanna something simple. Who are you really? But Hanna couldn't answer. I can't tell you, not because I don't want to, but because it's dangerous. I'm being hunted, she said. Sophie didn't panic. She listened, and then, without a word, tied a small bracelet around Hanna's wrist. Wherever you go, remember this. Hanna's eyes softened. Then she pulled out a folded page, lab notes, DNA charts. Sophie looked closer. She didn't understand all of it, but she saw one word that stuck: abnormal. Hanna confessed everything, including her plan to meet her father in Berlin. Miles overheard it all. The next morning, Sophie woke up in a panic. Hanna was gone. Her bed was empty, and she was afraid. Afraid her friend had run off into danger alone before they left the campsite.
I found breakfast.
Just before they left, she handed them fresh meat to cook. They hit the road, laughing, music playing, like nothing was wrong. But Hanna knew better. Quiet, alert, already sensing the storm coming, and she was right, not far behind them. Sebastian and his men were tailing the van. Meanwhile, Eric had reached Berlin at the bus terminal. He felt it, eyes on him. He looked once, twice, then moved. The men following him never stood a chance. Eric took them down quick, brutal, no wasted movement. Then he heard it on one of their radios. Marissa the witch was still alive across town in a hotel room. Marissa sat alone listening to old recordings, Johanna's voice memories she pretended to care about. Then her phone rang. Eric. She stayed calm, asked for a phone tap, but her voice cracked just enough to betray her as she stalled for time. There was a knock at the door.
Still there?
Not the technician, it was Eric, and the game was no longer theoretical. Marissa resisted but ran out of bullets. Eric kept shooting until the door cracked open. He kicked it in, stormed the room, and found it empty. Marissa had already slipped away through the window like a ghost. Back on the road, Hanna sat quietly in the back of Sophie's van. Miles past, trees blurred, but something felt wrong. A black car had been following them for too long. Sophie's mother wanted to stop. Check the map. Hanna's eyes widened, her voice sharp. Don't stop. But the car pulled over anyway, and Hanna's heart dropped. She knew what was coming. She turned to Sophie, eyes filled with urgency.
Whatever you do, don't follow me.
And then she got out, not to run, but to protect them, even if it meant facing everything alone, then disappeared into the shadows. But Sophie didn't listen. She followed, and she saw everything. The ambush came fast, guns, fists, chaos in the dark. Hanna tried to protect her, but there was no time to explain. Right in front of Sophie, Hanna became what she truly was, a weapon. She took them down. Violent, efficient. No more hiding. When it was over, Hanna vanished again. But the damage was done. Hanna fought brutally, like a trained assassin, taking down everyone in her path. Then she bolted through the chaos with Sebastian right behind her, chasing hard. She ran until the road vanished beneath her feet, and without hesitation, she leapt into the ocean, disappearing beneath the waves, while Sebastian stood at the edge, breathless, defeated. Sophie now knew the truth, and soon after, her entire family paid the price. They were kidnapped, interrogated, dragged into a war they didn't understand. The parents knew nothing, but Sophie stayed quiet, refusing to say a word until they found Miles, a little boy alone, scared and easy to manipulate. Marissa played kind, pretended to be a protector. "We just want to help Hanna," she said. And Miles believed her.
She's going to Berlin to meet her dad.
He told them everything, including Hanna's plan to meet her father at Wilhelm Grimm's house in Berlin by the time they moved. Hanna was already there. She found the house, and with it, Niflar, an old friend of Eric's. Warm smile, gentle hands. He welcomed her in, showed her a magic trick, a folded letter hidden in fire, a soft reminder that not everything is violence for a moment. Hanna felt safe, but the moment didn't last. Outside, tires, gravel headlights, Marissa and Sebastian had arrived. Niflar moved fast, told Hanna to hide upstairs, and from her hiding spot, she listened. Marissa spoke freely, assuming no one else could hear. What she heard shattered her.
He thinks Eric's the father. He thinks Eric's her father.
That's precious.
Eric wasn't her real father. She wasn't born. She was engineered, a government experiment, part of a program to create perfect killers. Superior senses, no fear, no compassion. She wasn't a daughter, she was a product. After they left, Hanna didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just walked away, quietly into Berlin's streets to find the truth. After hearing Marissa's words, Hanna needed answers. She slipped into a crowded internet cafe, eyes scanning news articles, records, names, experiments, DNA. Eric Heller. One address caught her attention. She followed it. What she didn't know: Eric had just arrived at Wilhelm Grimm's house, but something felt off. The place was too quiet, too exposed. He walked away, fast and with purpose. Instead, he made his way to a quieter place, a small house, tucked in Berlin's shadows. And inside, waiting for him, was Hanna. The reunion was tense, not warm, not tearful. Just one question.
Are you my father?
Please, sit.
Are you?
Am I your daughter? Eric paused, then told her everything. Hanna was born in a lab, part of a top-secret government experiment, designed to engineer children with no fear, no hesitation. Perfect weapons. Johanna was recruited from an abortion clinic alongside 20 other women. The program thrived, until it didn't. When Hanna turned 2, Marissa pulled the plug. All the other children were terminated, all except one. Eric took her and raised her in the woods, loved her like a daughter. But biology didn't matter, and Hanna didn't care.
We're not finished here.
She stared at him, confused, angry, betrayed. Just then, a car pulled up outside. Eric's eyes narrowed. He told Hanna to run, and she did. He stepped outside alone. Sebastian and his men were waiting. He ran as fast as possible to catch Sebastian's man. Using his brutal fighting skills, he took him down without mercy. Then he turned to confront Sebastian, who couldn't stop him. Eric ended him without hesitation, but just as he caught his breath, Marissa appeared behind him with a gun. She pulled the trigger and ended his life. Hanna returned to Wilhelm Grimm's house silent, heartbroken, and found Niflar dead, hanged. Everything she knew, everything she trusted, was gone. A sound broke through the silence. Footsteps. Hanna's eyes locked on the door. Marissa. She didn't scream, didn't charge. She ran. Through the woods, over fences, Marissa chased, gun in hand, relentless to the end. Eventually, Hanna slipped into a dead-end corridor, trapped. She turned around, breathing hard, bleeding from her hip.
Don't want to hurt anyone anymore.
I just want to talk.
Just let me go. But Marissa never listened. She raised the gun and fired. The bullet tore through Hanna's side, but didn't drop her. Marissa turned to run, but now Hanna chased through tunnels, over rails, down metallic slides, blood soaking her side. Marissa turned to fire again, but slipped. Head cracked the metal. She hit the bottom. Helpless, dazed, Hanna slowly approached. She picked up Marissa's gun. The woman who took her mother, destroyed her past, hunted her like an animal, lay at her feet. And this time, Hanna didn't hesitate. She pulled the trigger and ended it. And just like that, it was over. The program that created her, the people who hunted her, the lies that shaped her life, all buried in silence. If you made it this far, you already know. This wasn't just another action movie. This was a story about control, identity, and breaking free. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more brutal, underrated stories like this, and tell us what movie you want to see next, because we're not done yet. Until then, stay sharp, stay strong, stay Sigma.